Hello, I'm Dieonik, and welcome back to Let's Play Danganronpa. So, the class trial is starting, and I assume a lot of stuff is going to be uncovered, and we're going to be talking about a lot of the, I guess, Fenrir Corp, Mercenary Corp? I don't know. I guess it's, organization? Corporation? I forget what they were calling it. And, yeah, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. So I'm gonna do, I thought about going ahead and finishing out Danganronpa so I can focus on other things. I'm not sure if that's what's gonna happen or not, but I'm at least gonna do one more episode for you guys today, and then we'll see kind of what happens in the near future. Okay, so let's go ahead and check our skills, because I don't know if I've been, yeah, well, I mean, they're locked in. Okay. Alright, we're gonna finish prep. Court is now in session. And Szechuan. Let's start off with a simple explanation. You guys vote to determine the trial's outcome. Finger the true villain, and only the villain gets punished. But make the wrong accusation, and everyone else gets punished, leaving your deceiver to graduate free and clear. Alright, you guys can take it from here. First, the victim. It is imperative that we clear up all doubts as to who the unidentified corpse belongs to. Yes! Ain't that Kiri, dude? Really? You're still gonna be like that? Alright. It couldn't be anyone else. Kiri is standing right there. No! That's a ghost, dude! But she has feet. Do ghosts not? I guess like the floating kind of ghosts don't have feet. I'm trying to fix my mic. I keep bumping it because it's my new setup. Forgive me. But she has feet. She's not a sheet ghost. It's probably because she's a newly evolved species of ghost, dude. Is there no end to your stupidity? Probably not. If I could prove to you the corpse wasn't Kirigiri's, then you'd accept it, right? So to do that, how about we look at something unique about Kirigiri and compare it to the body we found? Something unique about Kirigiri? What is it about Kirigiri that shows that she's not the dead body? Her gloves. Kirigiri's gloves. That's where the answer to this question is hidden. In that case, wouldn't it be best to explain why she wears those gloves in the first place? Well, if you want to be a little dickish about it, sure, but I see what's going on here. You know? Monokuma told us you wear them to hide markings on your hands that you don't want people to see, right? Oh yeah! That corpse wasn't wearing gloves, was it? They were burned off, and the explosion, that's all. I guess that's possible. I mean, that's one of the more reasonable things you've said. That's gonna take more. It's going to take more than that to convince me. You've all been deceived by a ghost, dude. Rolling up my pant sleeves. The corpse is not Kirigiri, obviously. But if I don't clear up the misunderstanding here, we'll never be able to make any progress. So let's do this. I don't know how this is gonna happen, but it's gonna, I guess. There you go. Okay, so we got tattoo and fake something. And explosion. Kiri's standing there as a ghost. Okay, I have to remember how to... Oh no, that's the fast forward. How do I... Okay, that's... Wearing gloves. Fake nails. Right. Okay. No, fake nails. We're gonna fire. Okay, but let's talk about our hands. What a ridiculous conversation. Oh, is that it? I missed my opportunity? Okay, so I'll fire the fake nails at his thingy. And that's probably what's going on here. Is it wearing gloves? Okay. Say something. There you go. Wrong! Wow, that was loud. I guess I turned up my volume somehow. I don't know how I would have done that. It feels loud. 100.
Yeah.
No, the corpse did not have gloves on. Remember, she had fake nails, right? Fake nails like that would just get in the way of wearing gloves. Plus, Kirigiri wears gloves to hide her hands. Wouldn't it be kind of strange for someone who wants to hide their hands to be wearing fake nails? That's true. Didn't you know a woman's heart is complicated? A complicated beast, dude? You're... The one who doesn't understand women here is obviously you. How about it, Kirigiri? These gloves were made to fit my hands, so they wouldn't interfere in my day-to-day activities. Were I to wear fake nails, I wouldn't be able to put these gloves on. And that settles it. The corpse does not belong to Kirigiri. Of course not. She's standing right there. Then, whose body is it? That's what we're trying to figure out. If we don't figure that out, I've been saying that from the start. You're the one who forced us down this detour. Anyway, the first thing we need to do is clarify the victim's background. Everything else depends on the answer to that question. Sprinkler system after the explosion, tattoo. So, tattoo, maybe? Yeah. Yeah, tattoo. Is there any way we can figure that out? The corpse's face is burnt and unidentifiable. And the Monokuma file didn't say anything either. We have no way to identify... Ooh, yeah we do. Tattoo. Tattoos. Tattoo. I got a tattoo. Let's look at that tattoo. Yes. Yes. Actually, there is a clue we can use to identify the corpse. Huh? Seriously? If you're lying, I'll make sure your death is very exotic. An exotic death? You've got me interested, dude. What? There's nothing interesting about it. Negi, ignore them and keep going. The clue as to the corpse's identity is the tattoo on top of her hand. It's kind of an unusual design. What is it? A dog? It's a wolf, I guess. She was made to get it by her master. It means I am your bitch. Just keep your mouth shut. I had no idea it had such a humiliating hidden meaning. Because it doesn't. The only thing hidden in that tattoo is the identity of the victim. Huh? And the tattoo? Indeed, by looking at the tattoo alongside another piece of information, her identity should be obvious. Okay, tattoo, and we want the documents, right? Okay, is it his testimony or is it the documents? Okay, well, we'll try the we'll try this and then I mean, I don't think it says any. We're gonna say, yeah, all right, whatever. Let's try that. Okay. I wasn't sure if it was going to be that or his testimony. The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the mercenary organization Mikuro Ikusaba was in. What about it, dude? To show that they were members of Fenrir, every soldier was apparently required to inscribe the symbol of Fenrir somewhere on their bodies. The symbol of Fenrir? A symbol representing Fenrir. That has to be... Really? I gotta get one? Alright, well that's fine. Ah! Hit it. There you go. Attack it with all your might. That was something I didn't get, like last trial, is that I had to hit the red or the orange ones multiple times to make them red, and then, you know, to weaken them and then destroy them. But whatever, I got it now. The wolf. That's the symbol representing Fenrir. Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. He's an enormous wolf-shaped monster appearing in Norse mythology. Yes. He's the son of the trickster god Loki and the giantess Agraboa. What's this? I think we just caught a rare glimpse of the elusive bookworm in her natural habitat, dude. Shouldn't the spiritualist know about that stuff? The sage? Shouldn't he know about other religious beliefs, like other mythologies? Whatever. A symbol of a wolf. Then maybe. Exactly. The tattoo on the corpse's hand is a tattoo of a wolf. Which is to say, this corpse was once a member of Fenrir and belongs to Mikuro Ikusaba. What? Hold on a second. Wasn't Mikuro Ikusaba supposed to be the puppet master? Ha 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 ha. You seem surprised, but that's exactly right. This class trial is being held to determine who killed Mikuro Ikusaba. What is this? How can the puppet master be dead and our class trial still be held? That's not what he's saying. He's saying our initial assumption that she was the puppet master is wrong. But the phrase super duper high school despair sounds really puppet mastery. Even the idea that Mikuro Ikusaba was called the super duper high school despair is suspect. There was no record whatsoever of her having that title in her student profile. Right, wasn't she called like the mercenary or something? She was only referred to as the super duper high school mercenary. As I recall, the source of that information was you, Kyoko Kirigiri. You told that to Negi, didn't you? So, Kiri's info was bad, or misleading. But then, who on earth was Mikuro Ikusaba? She spends all this time in hiding, and when she finally shows up, she gets killed? Normally, you would spend more time and go into more detail about an important character's death. That just means she wasn't an important character. Mikuro Ikusaba was just like us, nothing more than a participant. Then, who is the puppet master, dude? Maybe he really is the Hope Academy headmaster. No, the headmaster doesn't have anything to do with this. But your information on Mikuro Ikasaba was incorrect, which throws that into question too. My information was not incorrect. Okay. We're in the middle of a class trial. Shouldn't you focus on who killed Mikuro Ikasaba? I assume he's like scared that something's going to be revealed that's going to put him in a tight spot or put us all out. Like, cause I imagine that something bad is going to happen to Kirigiri after the class trial because of the class trial and the information that she's about to give us about whatever it is she discovered. And I imagine that's what was going on with her saying, I'm gonna be in a tough spot. Keep private matters to a bare minimum, please. Sure, alright. Unmasking the Puppet Master can be saved for later, but don't forget, I will uncover your true identity on my name, the Togami name. It's my policy not to react to provocations like that. Alright, just so there's absolutely no confusion, I'll tell you guys this one more time. A class trial is held when a murder occurs between students and the academy. Make sure you pound that point into your heads. In other words, both the victim and the culprit are students. So, Mikuro Ikasaba was murdered by someone here. No, it's not possible that a 17th student is still hidden around here somewhere. There is no such possibility. There are a total of 16 high school students participating. You serious? So someone here murdered Mikuro Ikasaba. Who did it? Who killed her? Your best friend in all the world. Calm down. We've already narrowed down the list of suspects. Huh? You know who I'm talking about, Neki. The name on the suspect list. In this situation, there are two suspects. Yeah, Negi and Kirigiri. The possible suspects are me and Kirigiri, right? And what makes you say that? Alright, I'll tell you. Last night, just after the nighttime announcement, I went to the garden. I can attest to the fact that there was no corpse there. Then, which means the murder occurred at some point after I was in the garden. I'm laughing at the way that I articulated the way that it was written. But after that, Higeki Fukawa, Asahina, and I were in the gymatorium until morning. And the gymnasium, the four of us were in the gymnasium disassembling Monokuma. As a precaution, we avoided individual activities during that time. We even went to the restroom in pairs. In short, the four of us have the perfect alibi. Except for you during that time that you were in the garden that you admitted to being there. On the other hand, neither Negi nor I have alibis. That's why you said you'd narrowed the suspect list. Precisely. There are only two suspects, me and Kirigiri. Crap, this isn't good. I've got to clear that that suspicion somehow. Hey, can I say something real quick about my alibi? Do you have any objections? Before I make any objections, I'd like to narrow down the time frame of the murder. By doing that, we might figure something out. Do as you wish. Someone humor him. I too can confirm that there was no body in the garden when Toge showed up. That was just after nighttime started, right around 10 p.m., dude. Well, how can you know that? Which means the murder occurred after 10 p.m., dude. So we can say the time frame of the murder was from then until we discovered the body. But wait, what time did we discover the body? Kawa, who was going to get the pickaxe, was the first one to see it, right? And that means the body was discovered at 9 a.m. The body was first discovered at 9 a.m. when Fukawa left to get the pickaxe. Fukawa, what time it is? When we left the gym, it was a little before 9, so it should be right about 9 o'clock. Perfect. Have the pickaxe here by 9:01. You're right. It was around 9. In other words, we can safely assume the murder took place between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m. I went to bed early last night, so I don't have an alibi after 10 p.m. But I met back up with everyone before 9 a.m. when we ran into each other in the cafeteria. I think that was around, yeah, it was 7:30ish. I checked the clock when I got there, so that's definitely right. Which means Negi doesn't have an alibi from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. The murder occurred between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m. I don't have an alibi between 10 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Alright, I've got to make this count. If I can challenge my alibi by myself, by itself, if I can't challenge my alibi by itself, then I just have to prove the murder didn't take place during the time I don't have an alibi. To do that, I need to specify when exactly the corpse ended up in the garden. Okay, well, we have the sprinkler system, right? That's what's going on here? Yeah, sprinkler system. Load it up for me. Give me the sprinkler system. No. We can assume the murder took place between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m. Negi doesn't have an alibi. From 10 p.m. until 7:30 a.m. With that much time unaccounted for, you could easily... Do you disagree, Negi? Okay, well, I forget what time the sprinklers go off, so I'll just fire at random, I guess. The scene of the crime every day at a specific time, but the corpse wasn't wet. The corpse wasn't wet! So what mean that about body type being? In the garden, starting at what time? Between and 9 a.m. Okay, so it would have to be 7, right? There's no way. Okay, well, I guess it has to be the 10. Don't scare me like that, Negi. You had me thinking I said something wrong. I don't remember what time the sprinklers go off. You didn't exactly tell me. We're gonna... What? Ah! I ran out of star power. That's so dumb. Just go. Yeah, I do disagree, but give me a minute. Alright. Alright. There we go. I'm a failure. It's okay. I'm a failure and it's okay. Yeah, whatever. I got an 85. That's fine. The murder didn't just occur after 10 p.m. It happened much later than that. And why do you think so? The sprinkler system in the garden. Sprinklers are set to water the plants every morning at 7:30 a.m. Which is to say, if the corpse was in the garden before 7:30, then it wouldn't make sense for it not to be wet. Well, wait a second. I remember now. The corpse was wet. It was soaked. It was soaking wet. You're wrong about that, Fukawa. Wrong? About what? Because the bottom half wasn't wet. Are you saying she was only wet down there? No, that's not what I'm saying, you weirdo! I won't stand for that kind of filth talk. No, that's not it. What I'm saying is, the reason the corpse is wet is not because of the sprinklers. Not because of the sprinklers. But by denying the sprinklers, are you attempting to deny my very existence? What is wrong with you? Ooh, her screws ain't just loose, dude. They're totally gone. It's not because of the sprinklers. Then show me your evidence. The sprinklers aren't the reason the corpse is wet. I just have to convince. I just have to conflict Fukawa of that. That should be easy enough to see just by looking at the body. Well, it is charred, so... Okay, it's the rap battle thingy. Kill her with the shot! Yeah. I was starting to cycle through it to see if I had the right one, but it wouldn't let me cycle through it. I was like, okay, well, this must be the right one. Perfect! If you look at the state of the corpse after the explosion, you should be able to see what I'm saying. Only the upper half of the body was wet, the lower half was completely dry. Remember? If the sprinklers really were the cause, then her whole body, from top to bottom, would have been wet. Only her upper half was wet, and her lower half wasn't? Is there no end to your perversion? What? I can't deal with her anymore. Me either! What a weirdo. To get back to my explanation, and Negi is being so patient with her. Negi is being so... That's one of the things I haven't said. Is Negi is being so patient with her when she is completely left field, weird, perverted, kind of uncomfortable. Anyway, to get back to my explanation, the reason only the upper half of the corpse was wet is because after the explosion, when the corpse was on fire, I only doused the burning upper half. Then it really wasn't because of the sprinklers. Correct. Now, if the sprinklers didn't make the corpse wet, then the murder in the garden had to have occurred after the sprinklers went off at 7:30 a.m. Okay. Then the murder happened between 7:30 and 9 a.m. when the corpse was discovered. But Negi doesn't have an alibi between 10 p.m. last night until 7:30 a.m., right? Which means Negi couldn't have done it, dude. He's got an alibi. Yay! Which makes Kirigiri the only one without an alibi. I have no idea how we're gonna give her an alibi for this. By proving it was someone else, I guess. The only person with no alibi is Kirigiri. And Mikuro Ikesawa's murder? No, that's ridiculous. There's no way Kirigiri could be the culprit. I only have one thing to say. This is very unsettling. If I'm executed here for this, then the truth about this academy will never come to light. I will not let that happen, no matter what. Okay. Alright. What? Are you saying you're not the culprit? Of course not. There's no way I could be. This is all a trap set by the puppet master. A trap by the puppet master. Things got too rough for you. So you're just gonna push it all on me? That's rough. I feel for you. But do you think an excuse like that's gonna work? Well, you're getting pretty... Usually Monokuma keeps his mouth shut during all of this stuff. He's getting pretty defensive. Like, Kiri must have done something to royally piss Monokuma off. You shut your mouth. Yes, sir. Shutting up. But Kirigiri, you also have motive for killing Mikuro Ikesawa. Huh? Motive? She called her the super duper high school despair. In other words, she believed her to be the puppet master. And for that very reason, Kirigiri killed. I was skimming killed. I was like, Kirigiri Mikuro Ikesawa killed Mikuro Ikesawa so she could put an end to all this. But in reality, she was wrong. Kirigiri failed to realize that Mikuro Ikesawa was not the puppet master. And so, something she didn't plan for, didn't expect, happened. This class trial. That's Kirigiri's motive? She's got motive and no alibi. At this point, it's pretty much set in stone. Kirigiri's the culprit. I am not the only one without an alibi. Negi's alibi is inadequate. Huh? Just because the corpse wasn't wet from the sprinklers doesn't necessarily mean she was killed after 7:30. Well, why not? Because there's a way to prevent the body from getting wet when the sprinklers go off. You have my attention. You could prevent the corpse from getting wet by covering it with a certain something at the scene. Something at the crime scene used to cover the corpse. Could she be talking about? The thing that I said. Yeah, that. That's what I said, if you remember. You mean that vinyl sheet? So you noticed. Yes. If the culprit had covered the corpse with that sheet, then it could have been in the garden. When the sprinklers went off and not gotten wet. And that's exactly what the culprit did. The way the sheet is soiled corroborates that. The fact that only one side of the sheet got dirty is because that side was facing the sprinklers. The other side, which was facing the corpse, did not get wet and didn't get dirty. In other words, the culprit used the vinyl sheet to prevent the sprinklers from getting the corpse wet. And for what reason would they go so far just to prevent the corpse from getting wet? Most likely, so they could make us believe the murder occurred at a different time than it actually did. So, they would be able to make themselves an alibi, much like Negi just did. Yeah. Why would you say that, Kirigiri? Why would you try to make it look like I did it? No. Now's not the time to be thinking about that. If that vinyl sheet really was used in the way Kirigiri is saying, that means it came in contact with the corpse, right? It made direct contact with the body. No, that doesn't make any sense. What about it? Doesn't make sense. At this rate, everyone's gonna think I did it. I don't have time to try to figure out what Kirigiri is thinking. I just need to blow a hole in her claim. Before the explosion, after the explosion, fragments near the body. Oh, after the explosion. Well, after the explosion, because there was no vinyl sheet on the body. It was folded, right? Only once I got dirty. The side, okay. But the other side of the sheet wasn't even a little bit dirty. Because the sprinklers didn't get that side wet. That side was facing the corpse. It stayed clean. When we found the body, the blood still hadn't dried. Yeah, okay, alright. Togami even said that if we touched it, we were likely to get our hands stained. Okay, so for me, that feels like the only culprit could be then, with that information and the rest of the information, Fukawa, when the bump on the head occurred, or before the bump on the head occurred. Because they saw the blood and switched, right? Does that make sense? Anyway. Togami even said, if we touched it, we were likely to get our hands stained. Okay, so it's not fragments near the body before the explosion. Before the explosion. Right, okay. Did I miss it again? Okay, hold on. You got one more thing to say, right? There we go. Yay, I did it right this time! Great! Yes, I scored a 100 score points! No, it doesn't make it. That don't make a lick of sense. For only one side of the sheet to be clean. Remember, before the explosion, the blood on the body still hadn't dried. Togami even said that if we touched it, we'd get our hands dirty. If the sheet had been used to cover the body, there's no way it wouldn't have gotten blood on it. Maybe the culprit washed it to hide the fact it had been used. Well, why wouldn't they wash the other side? Then they would have washed both sides. Only washing one side doesn't hide anything. Ah, well, you have a point. And what if the blood on the corpse was a red herring planted by the culprit? What? That's a possibility. I think we determined somewhere that you could get blood, but I don't really remember. What? The blood, a red herring. In other words, after riding out the sprinklers by using the vinyl sheet, couldn't the culprit have poured fake blood over the body? But fake blood? And where would they have gotten that? I know. What about the transfusion bags in the infirmary? It would be so much easier if we had like a medical lab and we could prove that that blood belonged to the body, but I guess we don't, so we have to logic everything out, right? That's the same place Yams got the blood when he used it to playing dead, dude. No, the blood used in this murder did not come from the infirmary. Rather, the culprit collected the fake blood at the crime scene, the garden. The culprit collected the fake blood at the scene in that case had to have come from... yeah, we did determine that. We did determine that. I just forgot. The missing chicken. Are you perhaps talking about chicken blood? Huh? Chicken. When I last checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens inside. But after the murder, there were only 4. So basically, you're saying the culprit killed a chicken and used its blood. Yeah, it's pretty messed up, but whatever. I have no words for such cruelty, dude. He's a vegan. That is a terrible reason to kill a living creature. If it had to die, it should have been to make dinner. If he were a vegan, he would have said that he were a vegan by now, by the way. Perhaps the culprit used blood available in the garden because they didn't want to be seen walking around. But in any event, the fact that one chicken has gone missing is evidence in favor of my theory. Okay, so that leads me to believe maybe Togs is the killer? I don't know though. I don't know. Even so, that doesn't explain everything. He said the culprit waited out the sprinkler and then poured the chicken blood over the corpse. Had they done that, some of the blood should have spilled onto the ground around the body. But that wasn't the case. Only the corpse's clothes were bloody. There was no trace of blood on the ground around it. You're right. It is peculiar that the ground around the corpse was completely unaffected. Perhaps then, the culprit planted the fake blood on the lab coat in advance somewhere else, not at the scene. Planted it on the lab coat in advance. That's some good evidence for premeditated murder. When you first discovered the body, was it actually wearing the lab coat? As I recall... No, her arms were going through the sleeves. The lab coat had just been placed over the body. How did I not notice that? The sleeve is like... Then, that settles it. Sorry, I'm not really following. What did we just settle? The murder occurred before the sprinklers went off. The reason the culprit didn't get wet is because the culprit covered it with a vinyl sheet. After that, when the culprit went to retrieve the sheet, they placed the lab coat, which previously had chicken blood poured on top of the body. By planting these red herrings, the culprit aimed to disguise the true time of the murder, to make it seem as though the murder happened after the sprinklers went off at 7:30 a.m. You're right! That method does make it possible for the murder to have occurred before 7:30. But to do all of that, the culprit would had to have gone to the garden after the sprinklers went off, right? They wouldn't need much time at all. All they had to do was move the vinyl sheet to the shed and drape the lab coat over the body. That wouldn't take much time at all. That's probably true, but Asahina, when you ran into Negi in the cafeteria, did the two of you stay together from then on? No, I went on ahead to the gym and Negi showed up after me. So he had more than enough time, didn't he? I wouldn't... You can't say it's not possible. Yeah. It seems Kirigiri was correct. Negi's alibi is inadequate. Sliver and slabberdash. Okay, so I'm actually gonna pause this here, and we're actually gonna go ahead and end this episode here. It was a little longer. We're gonna try to make the other one sort of as long, and hopefully that brings us to the end. I'm not sure, because these seem to kind of vary in length of trial, but it feels like we're just scratching the surface. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Leave a like, comment on what you think of the game, what you think is going on. If you know, don't tell me or spoil anything. You can give me hints or whatever, but don't spoil for everyone watching. Go check out the other videos I've done. I will see you soon. No.